It took everything I had to leave the house and enter the building. Sometimes I would just sit in the corner or leave and go home. The stress of it was all too much.
Jack was scared out of his mind. But it was a different type of fear than you're used to seeing. He was not only afraid of people, but he was afraid of what he might do to somebody. So the first time I went out to the lobby to meet Jack, it was interesting because he was in the corner, significantly far away from everybody else, and just really very quiet. You know, when I said his name, he didn't acknowledge, he just began walking over, and he was shaking. He was even sweating. He was so nervous, just so nervous to be around people, so nervous that, so nervous he might do something he regrets. Jack had been physically and sexually abused so many times throughout life. The people that are supposed to love and trust you the most were the ones that committed so many atrocities against him. It was, he just never learned how to trust anybody. And eventually he had enough of it and ran away, moved out on his own when he was barely out of elementary school. And he eventually found his way, found a family within gangs. And at that point, he became the biggest, the strongest, and learned how to stay safe no matter what. At first, we had to build a trusting relationship, which, since he hadn't trusted anybody in his whole life, took a while. Once when we got past the point where we could trust one another, we began using EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. And what that helps do, the simplest way to say it is gives you your life back. It leaves the past in the past. It helps you move past the traumas and be able to form adaptive information in a way that lets you heal. And once when the healing was there, then that's when the really good stuff started happening. That's when we began able to be in the here and now and focus just on, you know, goals like being able to go to the grocery store without looking over your shoulder, being able to hold his wife's hand when they go on a walk in a park, you know, being able to actually live and not just survive.
I think if Jack had found Lampion Center years ago, his life would have looked totally different. If we know now that if children have had abuse or had neglect or sexual abuse or things like that, and they're helped through that, and they're taught how to survive those kinds of events, then their life as adults look totally different. And so Jack's life would have looked totally different if he had gotten help when it happened, rather than 30 or 40 or 50 years later. Nationally, the statistics are that 1 in 10 children will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday, and that's a number that we see here locally. So when you hear Jack's story, Jack isn't uncommon. Jack isn't something that we see or hear about rarely. Jack is the kind of client that fills our schedules. We give hope to families because when they've been through what Jack has been through, they need somebody to say, it's gonna be okay, and we know what to do. And we know how to help you get the right people involved on your team, and we know how to work with the community to make your child be more safe, and we know how to help your child still have a successful life, no matter what has occurred. When you join our team as a financial partner, you ensure that that counseling is available no matter what that family makes. Last year, 80% of those we served made under $30,000 a year. And fortunately, we're able to serve all of those people because of financial support. But the demand gets higher and higher every day. And so we continue to need your support so we can continue to provide more service. In the last few years, we've trained thousands of adults in our community to prevent child sexual abuse and to understand what the steps are that they can take to make sure they're not putting kids in the situations where abuse can happen. And so you can join us in many ways, financially, by being trained, or just by being an advocate for Lampion Center.
One of our biggest missions is to empower people. So right now we see him weekly, and we're working on empowering him so he knows that what happened here, what happened with us, is his. It's his healing. It's his life now, and he's empowered to live it however he chooses. And I'm looking forward. I think he's getting to the point where it won't be too much longer, where he knows he's got it. He can handle what comes, and I look forward to him not needing to come every week, and I think it's soon.
Every day is another fight, but the fight is different now. I'm fighting to be a better man. I'm getting there.